Hey everybody, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to set up a authentic mate argentino. So overall the process isn't too complicated. There's a few key things that go into making a proper mate. I'm going to show you the way that I do it and the way that has been working amazing for me. So let's get started. To set up the mate, the ingredients are very straightforward. So you have of course the yerba, which is pretty much the tea that goes into it. This is from Mañanita and very good. I like this, although it does have a lot of like powders and stuff, which I'll get to in a second there. Then you have what they call the mate. This is like the actual cup of what it is. I always called it a cup until everybody was like, no, this is a mate. Then we have the bombilla. So it basically has a filter to not allow the yerba to go up and accidentally drink it. Although sometimes it does end up going through, but it does a pretty good job, this style here. There's other styles that are very different on how they filter, and the preferred one so far has been this one, and I really like it. Inside this mate here, if you can see, it's wooden. So inside with the wood, it allows for a different kind of, I want to say flavor. The way the mate sits, I feel that having a wooden one is a lot better. I actually prefer it, and then I'll get into some other ones in just a second that we have. Besides that, all you need from here is a way to heat up the water. There's people that use the electric kettles. We always use the, I can't remember the name of this, the baba, but this is the baba that we use to heat up the water. So when you're drinking mate, the best way to start out is having fresh water that's never been boiled before, just because the way that the molecules or whatever scientific thing is going on in boiled water, it's just best to start with cold water from here in Mar del Plata. We can drink from the tap, but have cold filtered water or just room temperature water would be just fine also. And you just fill it up. The temperature of the water is gonna play a big role in setting up a good mate, because you can easily burn the yerba and it's gonna leave a very bitter taste. So the temperature does matter quite a bit. So we're just gonna take that, leave it here. Now we're gonna bring this water here to a boil. That's the way that I found that has been pretty good. From here, while we wait for that, I'll quickly show you some other things that you could have when you do drink mate. Thermoses are gonna be very good if you're ever wanting to travel anywhere and have a good thermos to bring the hot water. Is going to be very, very good to have, very comfortable. And here in Argentina, one of the most popular brands is Stanley. A quick little upgrade that they do here is they replace the cap with this one here. Has like a little hollow kind of thing in the middle, and that basically helps for when you're serving it. It doesn't like stick and drip and bring boiling hot water on your legs and things like that, which it happens quite a bit when you do have the other ones. So this little $2 upgrade that they sell here has made it very good. With the other things that I was going to show with the mate, these are other different types of bombillas. This is an older style here. You can see that this one comes with like a little filter. It doesn't come with a little filter, you add the filter on. It has like a little, I don't know, like a weird little design. This type is actually very good for filtering it out. It's kind of, it doesn't look as nice as what this one would look, personally, in my opinion. Overall, it's a very good one, and you can see that the tip here is a little bit more squished down. It's a different experience when you're drinking mate, having it that way. And generally, I like to use it with this one here. This is like an old classic style mate that you could buy. I got this one at the flea market for a couple dollars that they sold here. The one thing is that the outside does get like very hot, since it is just like tin metal. It's very thin here, so with this handle here, with this here, it's been very good. Although the one thing is, when you are trying to put the yerba in, it does get very stuck. Like, it's hard to put the yerba in and also to serve the hot water, but it does contain it good whenever there's like a windy day or anything like that. This little closed off area holds the yerba very good there. And then another quick basic little mate that you have, this one's made out of ceramic, and this one also does get very hot, so there's no really good way to hold it too much. But this has been a very good mate for us, and we've been using it quite a bit. Although now we pretty much always prefer to use this one, because with the wood, with the leather, it gives a nice feel when you are drinking mate. And the best thing is that since it is thicker, you don't get burned, so you can hold it properly and you can actually have a more comfortable hold when you are drinking it. In the preparation of the yerba, there is a little bit that you can do if you do choose to, and I would recommend it because it definitely helps with the flavor overall, is using one of these to pretty much filter out the nasty powders that the yerba can sometimes have that would bring the very bitter, strong taste to the mate. It's a little bit tedious sometimes when you just want to drink, but it does do a big difference. So you put, this is a small one here, just a little bit like that. What you do from here is just pretty much shake to get out all that extra powder. It really does help. I don't like to do it too much. It does lose a little bit of flavor and it doesn't last as long, the mates, but just about like that has been very good. There we go, so pretty much like that. You don't want to fill it all the way up. You kind of want to leave it to like a little bit less than 3/4 of the way to have a good amount there. When I first started drinking mate, I didn't like it too much. I would mostly drink it in like social gatherings and stuff and try to find a way to enjoy it, but I really could not get the flavor on how it's supposed to be enjoyable. So what I would do is I would fill it up with sugar and drink it that way, and I found it to be drinkable in the beginning. There are people that do enjoy it with sugar and adding sweeteners into the mate, and I would just overload it in order to cut the flavor off of the mate. In the beginning, it was not enjoyable, but over time, you do start to find the really good flavors that the mate does have and the benefits and the way it can wake you up like a coffee. But it does take time. It's something that it's weird to do in the beginning and it's weird to enjoy, but if you stick to it, trust me, you are gonna really, really enjoy it. So I'm not looking to fill up the thermos all the way, just because we are going to be adding some water, so that way I don't have to dump boiling hot water down the drain. So I'd say somewhere around here I have it filled, and the temperature that you're going to want the water, generally if you do have a thermometer, is going to be between 60 and 70 degrees Celsius or 70 and 80. It really depends on the preference that you have, but you want to really make sure that you're not going to put this boiling hot water onto the yerba because it is gonna ruin how the overall flavor is. And here the next step is to put some room temperature water straight from the tap. About that should be perfect. All right, kind of overfill a little bit. And the way that I found to really tell the temperature of the water is really getting to know the steam that comes off of it. And that's my telltale sign if I did it good or I did it bad. Sometimes you do need to like shake it around to know if the temperature is good or not. So yeah, it looks like from the amount of steam that's coming off, I think I did it good. Like I said, it does take time to really just eyeball the temperature, and it does do a very big difference in how the mate comes out. So I showed you the way that you could take out the powder in the sink, the way I use with the little strainer. There is another way that I could take out some powder and kind of separate it from the yerba without having to do all that I did there. And it's a very straightforward method here. It's just you put your hand on top of the thing to just cover it and you shake it a whole bunch. Depending on the angle you do is where most of the powder is going to be going. So if you do it just like this and shake it up, you're going to be left with a bunch of powder on your hand, and you kind of want to leave it, the yerba, at this angle here. And that's just pretty much to help with like filtration of how the yerba is going to be getting wet with the hot water. General rule of thumb is that you're gonna want to have this little ramp in this way, just like this. And from here, right at the corner piece there, is where you're gonna wanna put just a little bit of water. That way some of the water can start getting absorbed by the tea. And then from there, after you wait just a couple seconds, there's some people that do put it off at an angle like this, and you can leave it for 10 minutes if you would like. There's some people that do put cold water or just straight tap water into there, but I just found that going straight and simple, that's the best way that I prefer to do it. After you do put the water in, then from there you're gonna want to grab the straw, the bombilla. So press everything up that you did there with the ram to get everything a little bit more compact. And you're gonna be left with like a little wall type thing there, just like that. And then after that, you're gonna take the straw, the bombilla, and you're gonna just bring it underneath the yerba there. That way, everything is nice and set up and ready to have the water. One thing is you don't wanna just pour the water in as fast as possible and soak up everything here. You wanna pour it in very kind of strategically to make sure that everything is nice and controlled. So we're gonna be putting in the water there. And I prefer to go in like a up and down zigzag motion in this area here to make sure that everything is nice and even. Just like that there, and go slowly here just because the yerba is just getting wet. You're gonna wanna make sure that everything gets nice and absorbed. So I'd like to fill it up just a little bit more, take a little bit of a pause, and then go again. And then usually here's when I top it off, but nice and slow. Just like that. So like I said, you can add sugar if you want, especially in the beginning if you're just trying to get into it. And when you do put the sugar in, you want to make sure you put it right where the straw kind of pouring area is. And generally it's like like a little tiny tablespoon that you would put there, or a couple drops of sweetener. That'll make it really good. So thank you for watching. If you did get any valuable information, just leave me a like. That's gonna really help this video out. I appreciate it. Peace.